Where's Lane?
Oh, hey there! Welcome to TPCast episode number 80.
Oh my god.
And just to think that it's only been, 9 months since we did our last one.
Wow.
I don't know if that's a world record or not, but
Fastest time between two.
yeah, if you count like space-time jumps and whatnot, then that is the quickest. Anyway, I'm Lane.
I'm Kyle.
I'm Kevin.
And welcome to this episode of the TPCast.
A special video version.
A video version. It seems to be a yearly tradition that we do this. So today we have quite a few things that we're going to be talking about. Since we had such a short time between podcast episodes, we have by comparison, a lot of stuff to get through. So, and that includes the results from the 8th annual thing that we usually do.
7th.
I'm pretty sure it's the 8th.
You've been promoting it as the 7th.
I'm pretty sure it was the 8th. Whatever promotional period piece you got, I think it's wrong. Whoever put that out is just crazy. Okay. Anyway, I think it's the 8th annual, so
Alright.
I don't know. That's what it's going to be. Okay, so at the 8th annual Thomas Productions Movie Awards, as voted by you, the viewers. So, but that's coming later. For right now, let's talk about some news. Let's start with some of the latest stuff, E3.
Alright.
So that just happened, and so much new stuff.
Yeah.
Of course, since we're all about the Halo, let's talk about the Master Chief Collection.
I'm super excited. Is it exclusive to the one?
Yes, it is.
That's good.
Yeah. So, and good news for me and Kyle, we literally just got an Xbox One yesterday, so we are good to go. It's nice, and I'm sure you'll agree when you got yours, that we just don't have to worry about getting one anymore. Now we have one, all the games can come out, and we just don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, so I ended up getting mine in December, sort of closer, like right after it launched. The way that I viewed it was, there wasn't a lot of games for it, but I knew I was going to have to get one anyway. So I pictured it as like an investment for like the next 10 years in getting that. Although, I'm not sure if my timing was indeed the best, because you did get a better deal than I did.
By about $60.
Yeah, you got the
We got the Titanfall.
the free
version.
Titanfall thing.
But you got Titanfall anyway, so we can play it.
Yeah, which
And so far, Kyle and I are loving it.
we'll get to that later.
Okay.
I'm sure. So, the Master Chief Collection comes with Halos 1, 2, 3, and 4, and the multiplayer. So, leading up to E3, there was all these rumors about what might be coming, and this bundle was one of them. And
It seemed too good to be true.
that's what I thought too, especially the multiplayer.
Yeah,
I
fact
thought
that you can play on any map, in any game, on the Xbox One now, with other people, like in Halo 1. You couldn't do that before. It's so exciting.
yeah,
And
so,
they've got, sorry I keep interrupting you, but all the PC maps I wasn't expecting, because especially with Halo 2, we didn't have an Xbox when we got Halo 2, I think. So, well, yeah. So, we had to get the PC version, and the PC version, you could, if you had Windows Live or whatever it was, you could play online.
Xbox Live and Windows Live are the same thing.
Okay.
you had to get Vista. That was the
Yeah.
big thing.
Yeah, we had to get
That was
this.
the kicker.
Yeah.
Which is why I didn't play it.
So it came with most of the multiplayer maps and some PC specific ones I remember. And my favorite one was called Uplift. It was this beach with this cool little building type thing on one side of it. And it was just a really cool looking map. And then I think I saw a screenshot, right, where they showed that map that you can play on. It's like, they got the PC maps.
Yeah, so I wasn't able to play those two maps?
Yeah, it was two of them. It was Uplift and now I'm not going to remember what the other one was called, but I think it was kind of lifted from the campaign, and it was like an urban, like street area, kind of like turf. That's what I remember.
Yeah, so
Parking garages and stuff.
I didn't get the PC version of that, so I wasn't able to experience those maps. So I'm really looking forward to jumping into that. It's gonna be, I imagine it's gonna be weird jumping into the Halo 2 engine and then having new maps to experience.
Yeah.
In that.
And I played Halo 1. I had it on the Mac, and you could play that online with other people through the servers. And we used to play that. We played that.
Yeah, we did.
So I played Halo 1 a lot on the Mac, and I had so much fun with that. My favorite map was a PC one, so it's good to know that they're coming. It was Danger Canyon.
Yeah.
That big, like, C-shaped map with the little area in the middle that you could go through. I love playing Capture the Flag on that.
Now,
I really like Death Island.
Death Island. The bridge one. Gyphyrophobia. That's how you say it.
yeah,
Halo 1 says... Halo 1, I was telling Connie yesterday, it had the best names for maps, because you're not going to get another map that's named, like, Chill Out. You had a map named Chill Out. You're not going to see that anywhere else.
So, there was this one island map from Halo 1 that was on the PC only. I forget.
Death Island. It was based on the Cartographer.
I just said that.
If we get to play on that, that's going to be really fun and interesting.
Yeah. It's going to be so fun to just play Halo
taking
1.
banshees around that map and warthogs.
Now, so we got Halo 2, and they're remaking 6 of the maps.
And we know one of them so far.
Redone engine.
Well, we know. And Lockout and Zanzibar, right?
Were those officially announced? Because I would guess that they were in there, but I didn't hear that they were announced.
I don't think they were officially announced. I know Frankie for sure said that they're safe bets as far as which ones.
Popular maps,
yeah. So I mean, those two seem like no-brainers.
It would be interesting too if they released some DLC later with more of those throughout different Halos, like not just Halo 2, but maybe they could remake a Halo 1 or 3 map.
Would you shell out money for that?
If it was good maps, like especially Halo 1 map redone, I might.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see, what else is in there? Okay, so, of course, the sort of centerpiece is they retextured and revamped the Halo 2 campaign.
Just like they did with Halo 1 a few years ago. Which doesn't seem like it was so long ago. It's already been 3 years.
Yeah, that's kind of scary to think about.
We're going to have to do our legendary thing.
Yeah, so Halo 2 is the only game that I haven't beaten whatsoever on Legendary all the way through. So
didn't we do Heroic? You and I played Halo 2 on Heroic before Halo 4 came out, or Halo Reach, because you two played Halo 1 together. You and I played Halo 2 together on Heroic, and then we did Halo 3 before. Was it ODST came out, or Reach, or 4?
I forget. One of those.
Yeah.
But yeah, so...
But we did it on Heroic, so we still haven't beaten it on Legendary.
We have this tradition now, with the past few Halo games, of playing on co-op through the whole campaign. And
while sipping game fuel.
Yeah, so Mountain Dew, that better be coming.
They always seem to put one out around the time a new Halo comes out, whether it's Halo specific or not.
World of Warcraft, I think they did.
Or that Advanced Warfare. Speaking of which, just quick tangent, what are your impressions on that?
I haven't seen 1 second of gameplay. Not
the new Call of Duty?
Yeah.
I like Kevin Spacey. We're both a fan of, I think all three of us probably are a fan of House of Cards. Kyle didn't really watch the first season, but he watched the second one with me. So I like Kevin Spacey. I played... What Call of Duty games did I play? I played 4...
and 6. Or 4 in Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, I played the Modern Warfares. Except not 3.
Yeah.
So, they were fun. I didn't really play the multiplayer, I know. Shocker. I played the campaigns, because I tend to be more of a campaign guy.
I really think...
But
slight tangent. Titanfall really missed an opportunity. They could have done something really awesome with the campaign, and they went all multiplayer, which is fine. It's
We'll
going
get
to be
to
its
Titanfall.
legacy.
Yeah, so I had gotten for Call of Duty the first Modern Warfare, then Modern Warfare 2, and then the first Black Ops. But then by that time, it started to lose interest. With Black Ops, I played for maybe like a month, but then interest completely dropped off for me. And ever since then, I haven't really been interested in that franchise. The only thing that has me interested about this new Call of Duty is Kevin Spacey.
You know, when you got, I think it was Modern Warfare 2, we played a little bit, like, just split screen, and there was that one map that
Yeah.
they made in Halo, one of the Halo games.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. It's, I think, become quite synonymous with Call of Duty players, but I can't remember the name.
Was it Rust?
That was it.
It's funny that you say that, because I was gonna describe it as rusty.
So, yeah. So, I'm not interested in that, and what interest I did have as far as gameplay-wise is being fulfilled by games that are more appealing to me, such as Titanfall. So,
Any other E3?
well, for any other Master Chief Collection-oriented things, I think we pretty much covered it. Comes out November 11th.
Oh, they say you can forge on Halo 2 now, but I have a feeling it's just going to be on those 6 redone maps.
I think that's correct. Which, it's better than nothing. That's for sure.
And don't take this as any sort of announcement, but because they showed off Spartans versus Elites on the new maps, is it would be possible to do some sort of Marlin thing on there, because we couldn't do anything in Halo 4. But
yeah.
I don't know what we would or could do, but we could do something.
Yeah, something is possible with that. Thing is, since it's only 6 maps, it's not really beneficial to just move our whole thing over there for just 6 maps. And with Halo 2, it doesn't quite make sense to go backwards. And we actually don't even know if theater is going to be available for those maps.
I did just think of something, though, is that we have long talked about, but never officially started in any way, really, Marlin movie. And it would, if we were to do some sort of thing with the new maps, we could probably somehow get over there. I just don't.
Somehow work it in?
Yeah. But I wouldn't know how.
I feel like it's too early to talk about this.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
Kyle, you're the voice of reason here.
You don't really know enough yet.
Okay, so safe to say
You're
that's
thinking out loud too publicly.
safe to say that is in our future as far as games we're getting. The Master Chief Collection, anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, also, I heard, because I went to the Microsoft store yesterday, you pre-order that there, you get a $10 gift card.
Okay, so that's what their
And that's
bonus
the same
is.
thing I think they did with Halo 4, is you got a gift card. And I used it.
That's
Yesterday?
No.
that's
But I
really
did.
curious because I don't know, with other retailers they're getting exclusive skulls. And you would think that since it's the Microsoft store they would be getting something exclusive, but
Maybe they are. Maybe it's...
Yeah, because Halo
Gift
4
cards
had
added.
something exclusive and a gift card. So.
only time will tell. But it might be too late because I already pre-ordered from GameStop. Okay, so also at E3 was Destiny, Bungie's new game, which since our last podcast, they did announce the release date for that. I'm forgetting what it was, but I think it was the
September
7th. Or 9th? Okay. September 9th.
9/9/14.
Okay, so
Sneaking up real fast.
So at E3, they showed off mainly some of the multiplayer stuff.
I didn't really know there was going to be a whole multiplayer, but it's good to know. I mean, again, I'm more of a campaign guy, so I would be more interested in that.
Did you see like multiplayer gameplay from that?
Yeah, Kyle and I watched, like, I think IGN had 10 to 15 minutes on every class, so we watched most of those. like I mean most of each video, and just to basically get the gist of it. And it looks really cool.
Yeah.
Fun.
Do you have any like impressions on it?
Well, what I did like was, I don't know how you can get this, but just basically spawn a vehicle in your hand, and then I think it was called the Sparrow.
Yeah.
Just fly around. That seemed nice. Do you know how to get that? Is that class specific or what?
I think it's just for everything. I think it's more for just getting around more easily. Like, I see it as the mongoose equivalent.
Yeah,
in Destiny.
They said there are vehicles that have weapons, but that one doesn't.
Yeah. But still, I'm glad that they showed off vehicle gameplay, because that's a huge thing of what makes Halo enjoyable for me, or at least more enjoyable.
What class are you thinking of?
Okay, I'm going Warlock. That is already decided.
Here's what Kyle and I were thinking of doing is, because there's going to be a beta, and we pre-ordered it, so we're going to get in, is use the beta to try the classes that we probably won't end up going with for the game, and then for the game, go with the one we really want.
So what classes are you thinking of using?
Was it
Titan.
Titan? Yeah, it was the one, because when I play games like Elder Scrolls and Fallout, and the class kind of specific games, I tend to choose the one that has the most armor or does the most damage, because I want to die less. So that's my thing. So,
and I guess that makes sense too for me, because I was all about the magic in Skyrim, shooting firebolts and stuff.
yeah.
So,
And, I was about the armor. I didn't use magic a whole lot, so it
so
makes sense.
Kyle, what did you do?
I didn't play that game.
What are you going to do for Destiny, do you think?
I think we're gonna play in the same account. So,
Yeah.
Titan.
Because there's no
Agreed.
split screen or anything, so it would just be easier for us to share it. We don't mind.
Now the thing is, I think with the Xbox One, you could have multiple accounts that are live enabled.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you could have your own sort of thing if you wanted.
I don't think we're going to. Because we would probably, if we were going to play separately, we would want to do it split screen, and you can't do that in Destiny.
Yeah.
So.
Which that really kind of that sucks, because even if you're like, say I'm like over at your house and we wanted to play competitive, can't really do that.
But we could never do that in Skyrim either. And when
True.
they finally announced online, it had a subscription, so...
Yeah, that really...
Good thing Destiny won't have a subscription.
Yes.
Unless they just haven't announced that yet. Then it'll cancel.
That's... I don't see how they can do that and not get a bunch of cancellations all over. So, they also... I didn't watch, like, a whole lot of this, because I wanted to keep the experience a bit fresh, but they did... They released an alpha for PlayStation 4 users, and so some gameplay of that was getting out there.
I didn't watch any of that.
Yeah. So I just watched this quick little bit of this guy.
Was it multiplayer?
No, this was like more of like campaign.
Mm-hmm.
So you had more like Peter Dinklage dialogue with the I forget the name of the little robot guy. But anyway,
Was it Ghost?
I think that's it.
I'm good with names.
I think you're right.
So
So,
now he's
but
in
anyway,
the-
there was like it was like, I guess it was the Flood equivalent, but there were like scary zombies coming out. So
Spoiler alert.
they've showed pictures of the creatures before.
I don't look at pictures.
Too spoilerific.
No, pictures are no fun when there's video.
Okay, so if we're talking about Destiny, another thing needs to be brought up, and that's the whole situation with Bungie's former composer, Marty O'Donnell. Apparently, he's fired. He was fired. And
now he's suing, right?
yeah, apparently, I guess he filed the lawsuit, I guess it was like right after, but it just now is coming out that he did that. So, that is really unfortunate. I really don't see what could warrant
And everyone was
such
saying,
action.
Everyone was saying, no, 343 can pick him up.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I wouldn't mind.
No one would mind. They would love it.
I think he would want to do something different. He said, like, that he's up to doing movies and stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like 343, they would totally accept him and offer him a job, but I feel like he wouldn't accept it because I think he, like, at the end of Halo Reach, like, sort of the interviews he gave and stuff, felt like he was ready to do something fresh and something new.
Yeah.
So I don't think he would want to go back to that, at least in a capacity for, regular games.
Yeah.
Now, what would be neat, if, it'd be a shorter commitment, is if he scored, like, some of the music for one of the Halo TV series that they're doing. That would be neat.
That'd be cool.
So, yeah, that's really unfortunate, and it did a pretty big blow to, the faith that everyone had in Bungie.
Yeah, he's been on since, like, Myth, right?
I believe so.
He did Oni and he did Halo.
Yeah, like, going forward with Destiny, there was nothing but positivity towards Bungie, and then this fire was just a huge setback for them in terms of PR.
But his music is still...
Yeah, his music's still in the game. They're so far along with that there's
no time.
Yeah, there's no time. And yeah, one of the things that has been brought up was that he's always been collaborating with Michael Salvatore, and as far as I know, he's still on at Bungie.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's a interesting dynamic there, where Marty's left, but he's still there. They're like best buddies. So I don't know.
Will he leave?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. It seems like they've always been sort of locked at the hip, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how things proceed. I also imagine there's going to be an uptick in soundtrack sales whenever they release that. I feel like a lot of people, even though, of course the music's going to warrant the purchase itself, people might want to, they'd be even more inclined to purchase it to make a statement. But, yeah, so can't wait to see what he does next, because everything he touches turns into excitement. That was a marketing phrase from Goldfinger, the movie. So, there you go.
You're right, I remember that. Everything he touches turns to excitement.
So, that's done with. Okay, so, anything else game-wise that you want to talk about? Anything that was released?
Well, I want to say, as far as... Because, really, except for the Destiny part, Microsoft is what I really pay attention to during E3. And I think they had a great E3 because it was all about games. They didn't mention TV. They didn't really mention sports or Kinect at all. It was all about the games that you play with your controller.
Yeah, they were saying that the biggest, or somebody from Microsoft said the biggest mistake they made was not introducing the Xbox One as a game console first. They introduced it as an entertainment hub, which includes games. They should have said, hey, this is our new game console. And then
they're going back and
you can
fix
do all
that
this
mistake
stuff.
now, but the damage has been done. Also, I want to say, and you guys both know this already, that I'm extremely disappointed that no Fallout 4 was announced at all, because I'm really looking forward to that, as is everybody else who played Fallout 3.
It really seems like a no. Like, I tried playing Fallout 3, and I couldn't get into it. But
I have a feeling you would enjoy it now.
After playing Skyrim?
Yeah, it's the same.
mechanics.
Yeah, same mechanics.
Well,
in a post-apocalyptic
The situation,
1950s.
It's
world.
reminding me of Destiny, how they said, like, people were expecting it to be announced at like E3 2010 or something, and then that never happened, and then it never happened the next year, and then the next year they finally did.
I think because I'm sure they're working on it. There's no way they're not. With Skyrim, I remember them saying, because it seemed like it took a really long time for them to announce that, they said we were trying to wait until the new consoles came out, but they were just taking too long, so we just went ahead and did it on the current gen.
Which one?
Skyrim.
Oh.
And then, now that these consoles are out, I'm sure that they're working hard on a new Fallout. And the day that that's announced, I'm going to be so excited. Because you just know it's going to look really good.
That, yeah, it seems like a no-brainer with all the power of the new consoles. And, you know, I should be looking forward to it as well, because I feel like what they did with Skyrim is they totally took a franchise that was relatively niche and totally brought it into the mainstream. So I feel like they have the potential to do something similar with a new Fallout, is to make it even more accessible to other people like me.
I didn't play those games, but I watched Kevin play a lot of it, and I have to say that the graphics in those games have always been a little behind what everyone else has been doing. Like, Skyrim looked good, but not as good as other games that came out at the same time, and Fallout was, like, way behind.
Fallout was way behind. I think Skyrim was actually pretty good.
I disagree. It was okay. With the next generation, they have no excuse not to make it look awesome. So if that's what's taking the time, making it look good.
Yeah. But by all accounts, I'm definitely agreeing with you, Kevin, about Microsoft's direction. Mm-hmm. They definitely have, you could see with E3, the giant switch that they made. I didn't watch the whole conference, but did they even mention a Kinect game or Kinect?
I don't think they mentioned any Kinect-only games. I think it was all just controller games.
Sports rifles? Did they not talk about that?
I don't know.
Yeah, but I'm glad that they didn't have the whole, the goofy people doing all this stuff with their hands. I want to say one more thing. Or the irrelevant music group that was on stage.
Before we move away from E3, I want to say one more thing really quickly. And it's going back to Halo. Something I forgot to say is that I rewatched last night the E3 2013 Halo announcement when they had the new preview, and they said your experience with Halo on Xbox One begins in 2014 with dedicated servers, 1080 and 60 frames a second. And everyone would have thought that meant Halo 5, but it seems like they already knew what they were doing and were just saying that this is the Master Chief Collection, but they weren't announcing it. Because they said 2014 and everything that's in the Master Chief Collection, so...
Yeah, they really made a big deal about that, of not saying that it was Halo 5.
Yeah, they just called it Halo for Xbox One, so now I realize what that really meant.
What I thought when they announced it was that they weren't calling it Halo 5 because it wasn't Halo 5. They were saying, hey, Halo, the franchise is coming to Xbox One.
Yeah. I think that was their intention with that.
People missed the point, though.
Yeah. Looking at it in hindsight, because it was all new, you know, as far as a story perspective, it was like an all-new setting, and like there was a new robot thing, and Master Chief was different. So, I don't know. I sort of got the impression that maybe at that point they weren't quite sure if they were... if next year was going to bring Halo 5 or not. But then I think that they were quick to figure out that, okay, it's not going to be coming next year.
Well, I think... Halo has always come out with a new game every 3 years. So it seems like maybe they did now.
Yeah, the only exception to that, I think, would be, I don't know, with They did ODST. That was a separate team. I'm not sure if you'd call that an outright, it was next installment. Halo Reach was there. Then you had Halo 4 2 years after Reach, and that was a different team. So
a different studio.
A different studio. But I don't know. Maybe quickly before we move on, going from Halo 4 into Halo 5, and we skipped over this, but the Halo 5 beta, which will be coming in December. What changes would you like to see going from Halo 4 to Halo 5, if any?
I don't know.
I don't think there's much to change.
Yeah, Halo 4 seemed to work really well.
I maybe bring dual wielding back.
Why?
Yeah, were you did you feel that the ordnance drops were okay?
I guess so. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it didn't radically change the game, which is good because Halo should always feel like Halo. So
yeah, I think
I don't mind it. Yeah.
I know
whatever they do, I'm sure will be fine.
It seems I think a lot of people had issue with the ordnance drops, and
if they took it out, I wouldn't be disappointed. Put it that way. If they kept it in, I wouldn't care.
Okay. All right, so let's move on to some other stuff that's not related to games news. Of course, there's a whole bunch of Star Wars stuff that is new, but I think maybe we should just skip that because I think we are taking up a lot of time.
And we've never really put out any Star Wars videos, so our viewers aren't
in that realm.
Thoughts probably.
Okay, so now
you're the Star Wars guy.
I am the Star Wars guy of this group, no doubt about that. Okay, so this is normally the time of the podcast where we take a look at the emails and messages that we've received. So, safe to say we didn't get any emails or voicemails. We usually don't. But things that we have been getting are YouTube comments. Those we get on a regular basis. So, you know what? We're going to read some of those. I found that with the Master Chief Collection, a lot of people were going back and making comments on like some of our older videos. Like that music of the Siege of Madrigal video. People have been coming back and posting on there saying how they're excited about the new Master Chief Collection. And okay, so here is one that was made on Marlon the Elite episode 81, The Arrival, the first episode of season 9. This is from Super Nigel 97. Okay, says,
"What's up, Nigel?"
Says, "Your vids honestly deserve more views and likes. I hope more people lean of this series. It's friggin' amazing."
I agree.
Learn of, but yeah, the only thing we can say other than thank you is
tell your friends.
Yeah, if you think more people should learn about it, teach them. We'd be happy to get more views.
Yeah. So, like our subscriber base has been, we haven't like gained a whole lot of subscribers, but we haven't lost a significant number either. Yet our viewership has kind of gone down the toilet as far as the view count,
which is not great because our production quality, I'd say, has gotten much better.
Yeah, so
maybe what we should do is go back and not care so much about the quality and just put stuff out like a lot, and
Lane would feel like
I have a feeling that maybe because Marlin is oriented towards younger viewers. Let's have him turn into a thug, start dropping F-bombs. Change it up.
I think
That's
I think our most recent episode, The Land of Tomorrow, I think that has some illustrations on why we shouldn't do that. There are some aspects of youth culture that aren't exactly desirable. So, this is a comment from episode Marlon episode 88, Warm Reception. It's a comment on the episode. He says, this is from Nathan. He says that he's glad that the show's back again. Yeah.
You can explain what was going on with that episode if you'd like.
Oh yeah, so that was the episode where
The second one ever.
If you can't tell, we kind of do one a month.
One Marlin episode
Yeah.
a month.
our typical schedule. I guess I'll explain this since we're approaching the end of a cycle again. Is that we start the season in September, and then go to December. Then we take a little break, a mid-season break. We start
about a month.
We start again in February, and then go until June. Then we take a break over the summer, start again in September. The cycle repeats.
So that's one season for 1 year. The season goes from September 4th to June, whatever.
Yeah, that didn't used to be the case, but it is now.
Yeah, when we used to have
All
more
the time in the world.
But now we're in college with college work, meaning less time to make videos.
Yeah, pretty much. The regretfully, the increase in quality that we're doing, plus with all our other things that we have going on, unfortunately, we're not able to put out as much stuff as in the past.
But our stuff is still great.
At least we think so. And so does some guy that goes by the name Bill Nye the Science Guy. I'd like to think that he is the Bill Nye the Science Guy, but I don't think that's the case. He says, "Great episode, guys. Keep up the good work." That was also for episode 88, Warm Reception.
Oh, thank
Can
you.
you explain what was
and
going on with that episode?
I promise we will.
Because it was the second one that we've ever done.
That
We?
that didn't involve
I'm
you
saying,
guys.
yeah.
Okay, so this is a situation where I usually don't get sick that often, except in this one case, which I did. And so because of that, and with all our schedules and stuff, it was really hard for us to get together to do all the episode stuff. So you guys gave the permission for me to do one by myself.
Which we've only done once before. I don't remember why. Probably because it was a similar situation.
I think it was a similar situation where back then we even had a more aggressive time scale as far as episodes. So we had to get 10 episodes out in what is now considered a half season for us. So
Whereas now we're at 10 episodes a season. It's always been.
yeah, it's always been 10 episodes.
It's also 10 a year now instead of 20.
Yeah, it's always been 10 episodes a season. It's just we stretch that out. So I did that by myself, and that was one where Marlon has some troubles with his TV and has to call the cable guy. And as some might expect, the cable guy doesn't exactly follow through on what he says he's going to. So, anyway.
It turned out pretty good, and it was
Fun to watch it as a fan.
It was, well, I was going to say it was like the first one that I can remember where other people got to see it before I did.
Yeah.
But I thought it was great.
We didn't get a preview screening. Lane.
Sorry, didn't want to infect
okay.
you guys. Okay, here's one from on episode 89, our most recent episode. It's from
Spaghetti.
215. It says, "This episode really had me laughing from the start. Excellent work, guys." Thank you.
You know, we were in our room talking about our plan for this episode, and we were laughing hysterically from before the start because we were coming up with hilarious ideas for what the episode was going to be. So I'm glad it translated and that you were laughing too.
I'm honestly, the episode turned out a lot better than I expected it was going to.
It was one of the few episodes where we actually used some live action.
Did we only do that?
And I think that was
before.
It was the first time that we had a live action in Marlin that it wasn't green screen, right?
I think that was correct. We've done live action elements before. We've had the snapshots of us in that one episode.
I think there was no reason to really do it in live action. For this episode, I guess any of them, except that we just want to shake it up. But for this one specifically, it was because, and the thing I came up with,
you did.
I said this guy should be named Land Thomas, just to make fun of Lane, and so Land Thomas, and let's do it in live action so that we can have people see Lane say, "I'm Land Thomas," and I couldn't believe he agreed. But it was too good of an idea.
He was very reluctant at first, but we kept pushing and showing him the benefits of why that would be a good idea. So he got in.
Yeah, I was resistant at first, not because of I didn't want to do it. It was just, that's an extra element to the episode. But I agreed that it was too funny to pass up, so I did it.
So we filmed the episode in Halo Reach, and then same day afterwards, we finished it and then went out and filmed
my part,
the live action. And that was the first time that we used one of your Christmas gifts in production, right?
Yeah, I got a reflector with different reflective sides on it, used to bounce light back onto a subject.
We used the gold side.
You won't notice it.
Sepia tone. Yeah.
Yeah, which was muted out by the fact that it was black and white, but you know what? It's the detail that counts. Yeah. But I was really happy with the episode. It seemed like it was really fast-paced as far as the dialogue and the cutting in between the characters worked well.
We did something that we don't do very often, but the last time that I can remember we did it, it worked really well and we really liked it. It was the last one was the Fair is Fair, when Marlin went to the fair. And we had a couple different storylines going at the same time, which was Marlin trying to win this warthog, and
Lemon Man
in a pie contest. And we liked the two storylines going on at the same time, and we wanted to do that again. And we thought, let's take these guys to a theme park, have them split up into the different sections, kind of like Disneyland has different sections, and show them spurs together.
Yeah, it's called an A, B, and C story. The A story being Marlin being stuck. We have this promise of this is going to be the coolest part of the whole theme park is the Tomorrowland, and he never gets there. And then the B story is Lemon Man he's in Yesterdayland and he keeps getting pestered by people who want him to spend money. And then the C story is Cotton Swab in Todayland being annoyed by what pop culture has turned into in America.
Yeah. We called it Someday Land because it's funny that you would be expecting Tomorrowland.
Yeah, that was the whole thing. Yeah.
It's Yesterdayland, Todayland, and Sundayland.
Also,
which opens on...
I want to say, I think it maybe in some ways the whole Marlin storyline was inspired by my favorite, and this is going back a long ways, SpongeBob episode. The one where I just really liked for some reason, the one where he was waiting in line to get into this. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
Explain it more. I'll probably get it.
The one where he's waiting in line to get into this,
haunted house.
It was just you didn't know what it was, and as soon as he finally gets in, he slips on an ice cube or something.
Yeah.
And he goes to the hospital, and it's like there's this thing you don't know what it is. All you know is it's supposed to be really exciting. You don't really ever see the inside of it. You don't know what it is. It's so exciting just to. You come up with what it is. And we did that where
the character
you never really see. You see a little preview of like what like the outside, but not what's behind it. And I thought that was so cool.
And the character that you want to experience it doesn't get to.
Exactly. And that whole scene where he's stuck and then starts going backwards, I thought that was all Lane's editing.
Yeah,
that made that so good.
It turned out great, just the way it was put together. Like, when we were filming it, we were having a terrible time getting it
to kill the guy as the car backed up.
And,
you think that would just work.
We wanted them to be far enough across the bridge that, you know, it would end at the perfect time, and we couldn't get that right, and it was going so slow, but the way you edited it really made it so funny.
Yeah.
We were watching it for the first time after we finished the voiceovers, and we were just laughing so hard because it was so fun. The entire episode, but mostly that part, is what made it so great. One of the best all season long, I have to say, in my opinion.
Yeah, there was yes, camera tricks and stuff like that to hide the continuity errors. But yeah, that track had some good opportunity for some neat angles. My favorite is the one from underneath the track as like the car is zooming towards him.
And our great check joke is great. Check one. So you expect check like 2 or 3 at the most, because that's what is at a real theme park, and it just kept going.
So that actually goes right into our next segment, which is basically just talking about our latest videos. Except in this case, let's go back a little bit to December, in which we released Detective Awesome and the Con Artist Conundrum.
Wait, that was December?
Yeah, we filmed it in hey, our schedule again, our quality boost. You know, you want to do a good job. That was our summer movie of that year, which got released at the end of the year.
Here's the thing. I am always excited when we do our summer movie at the beach. We always film it. And by the way, we do know what ours is going to be this summer, but that's pretty much all we have. We know what it's going to be. But I was always so excited. That was the first time we ever did a sequel. What I'm saying is, the first one that we did there was a sequel, but then we never brought the same story back, which we did for the first time there. And I was excited about it, but when we were doing it, I was like, gosh, this just doesn't, there's something about it that doesn't feel right. But then it turned out great, as usual. The same thing happened with Buffy and the Tuesdays. I was like, this doesn't feel as funny as it should be.
The top button.
Yeah, it's the top button.
It doesn't feel as funny as it should be, and then it did. It ended up being, like, so good.
So, yeah, who came up... You came up with the concept for...
I did.
You did?
It was what I wanted to do was take the stupidest detective ever and have somebody pull a con on him. And that's really all I knew, besides I want Detective Awesome to be conned, and I want him to be conned by Lane playing a character named Constance LaGrange. It was because here's the story behind that name. I don't remember coming up with it. I just remember I came up with it and I thought it was super hilarious. Constance LaGrange.
What?
And when it came time to do this movie, I had completely forgotten the name. I was like, oh man, I'm never gonna remember. We're not gonna be able to do it. And then just randomly, I was looking through old notes, because you know you can take notes on your phone now. And I saw I had written down Constance LaGrange just by itself, and I was like, "That's it! I wrote it down." It was
so now we can use it. It was
again.
inspired, wasn't it? Inspired by Leverage.
Yeah.
At
least I was.
The con artist part.
Yeah. The saunter that I chose to do is a lot like
there's a TV show called Leverage that
Yeah.
we used to watch. It was about a group of con artists who are now Robin Hooding. But conning for good. Man.
But our con artists were doing it
for evil
reasons. Yeah. And I remember, like, that was one of the ones that we filmed a lot of it before we got to the beach place. We did
An Office. Again.
We did The Office again, and we did it here.
Yeah.
It's so fun to film in the office areas, except that we do it on weekends when nobody's there, so there's no air conditioning.
Yeah, that really was unfortunate.
Especially with our nice heavy costume.
Yeah, Kyle was the only one that is smart and wears light clothing.
But
we always
we
bundle
got
up in
the
the
coats, the hats.
I had the
wigs.
long sleeve black turtleneck.
you,
The
guys,
fedora.
you guys like wearing black. Like in the serial Luther, you both were wearing all black when I was in the white suit. But it was always
It's about
cold.
looking good.
It was always cold in the loud room. Remember, it was like the server room that you can't hear anything, but it's nice and cool in there because they got to keep the technology cold.
Yeah, that was what was I gonna say? I forget. But anyway, I thought that turned out well.
Yeah, I
It was
think
so good.
as far as the cinematography, there were a lot of shots in that movie that just turned out so good. Like Kyle on the phone in front of the window,
And
a lot of ones in the office.
that
It
was the
just turned
last
out
scene
so
we
good.
filmed because we wrapped. And then I was like, wait, Lane, we forgot a scene. It's me on the phone. And you're like, oh yeah. So we had to film that real quick on our last day there.
It's always the phone conversations that you forget about.
Because you do it once,
No.
and you think you've done it.
Yeah.
That would have been really impossible to stitch together because we only filmed like your half. We didn't leave time for me to dub over.
Yeah, so we came out with that in December. It's old. Okay, a new edition this year that we started. Now, Kyle, you should start talking about this because this was your idea.
Okay. I don't remember how I came up with the name or the idea or anything, but I like doing newscaster voice, something that I don't really get to do a lot here because our one kind of news show, you're the anchor. Kevin.
What was my guy's name?
Raul.
Raul. Okay.
Kevin is the Halo expert, and I'm the weather guy at the end.
Wait,
But
I think that one's discontinued.
I like doing anchors.
As with so many of our other.
I mean, you know, never say never, but
I like doing anchor stuff, so
It's
wrote,
possible.
I wrote this character for myself, Leon Barnes. Where
As soon as I heard the name Leon Barnes, how funny that was. I knew it was.
and then it's not just Leon Barnes; it's Leon Barnes' investigatory report, not investigative, investigatory, and he goes around talking to people about things that he
These are really short.
yeah the things that think is newsworthy, and then he basically, you know, in classic TP fashion, fails at what he's trying to do. And so I've been writing it for a few months. We filmed 2 of them. The second one we did, Goth Conspiracy, was my directorial debut here. The first time I directed anything that we've done, and I had a good time with it, and I think it turned out great. And we have a few more scripts. Kevin actually wrote one that, I don't know, maybe we'll do next.
I really liked my character in the last one, the bouncer.
It was so.
the voice.
If you watch the
You're
bonus,
not on the list.
if you watch the bonus footage, it was the first thing we filmed together was our interview in the garage, and his first line was "I'm not," and that took forever to film because I kept cracking up.
And then
on
that
the
made me
camera.
crack up
I know.
afterwards.
Lane,
You were
Lane
kinda like-
normally doesn't.
You had a cough when we were doing that. Which I
Yeah,
think
that was the tail end of that cold I was talking
it
about
helped
earlier.
with that voice you had going on. You're not on the list.
You're not on the list.
Yeah, and I was trying to purposefully contort my mouth into like a weird like expression.
But those are really fun to film. They don't take very long to film, and they're pretty quick videos. And what I try to do when I write is I try to make every line funny, or like a joke at least every 1 to 3 lines. So it's very quick, rapid fire jokes, and I'll laugh out loud. I laugh out loud when I'm writing it. And that's before I hear
What they
how I
sound like.
say it or how you
And
say it.
I think the point
the
behind
words.
these videos are just to be really quick, short videos that are, you know, it's not, because we plan on doing these short videos and they end up 15 minutes long.
That's
We say let's make this video like 15 minutes, and it turns out to be a half hour. That's just how we work. So we wanted to do this where it was short. We're gonna make it short.
All the scripts are about 2 to 3 pages that translate to about 1 minute page or less.
I think we always have this problem of making things much longer than we intend them to be. I think one of the problems is that the way we usually work is that we go and
We don't write scripts.
we go and
improv.
we practice and improv the scene first, and we just come up with so much good stuff, and then we feel we feel like we need to use it because it's
And
good.
then with our bigger films, we usually have not a script, but kind of a treatment of a description of each scene, and those end up being way longer than you think they're going to be.
Yeah.
Like, I think the Serial Realtor was like 10 scenes or something like that. Some big crazy number of...
I think I wanted it to be like 15 minutes, like you said, Kevin, and then it ended up being close to a half hour.
But at least we can upload it in one part on YouTube.
Yeah, that's the good part now, that YouTube allows that if your account is in good standing, which it is.
Because I feel like putting a video in 2 or 3 parts kind of makes people not want to watch it.
Yeah.
But when you don't have to click on part 2 or 3, it's just all
Those are
there
the
for
good
you.
old days.
The good old days of multiple part segmented.
Hey, you guys remember
Content.
this?
There's... Okay. You're scaring me with that. I'm afraid it's going to go someplace.
Do we want to talk about what we did yesterday?
Well, really quickly, first, let's talk about a few of the Marlin episodes that
Okay.
did come out since
We've
our last
already
podcast.
talked about some of them. Well,
We talked about the first one of the season because our last podcast was in October.
we can talk about what we did this season, which I think we talked about it a little bit before, but right before we started this season, we were meeting over at our house, and we thought, let's do something that we've never done before, which is where a couple episodes, I think it's going to end up being 4?
It was
4 out of the
total.
10 are
Following an arc.
and they're all separate, so you don't really have to have watched the other ones because the story is so kind of self-contained. But it has to do with this overarching thing where there's this mysterious teleporter that has shown up in Alpine Springs, and we don't know where it leads because anyone who goes through it, we know.
When
Everyone who goes through it doesn't come back.
When we came up with the idea, we wanted to make sure that we knew where it went, so that
Beforehand?
We knew before we filmed the first episode.
Yeah.
And we've now filmed the last episode.
we knew
So-
how the season was going to end before we started filming the first episode.
We basically knew the last shot,
Yeah.
the last line.
So usually we've done ones before. Usually at least once a season we have an episode where it's been like previously on.
So
Right,
like
yeah.
the other one that we did live action where we went to space, and then that turned into a whole space war. That was 2 episodes.
There was one that was the biker gang, where,
Talking old school, man.
and then there was our very recent one with Corey Von Sexy's plan to blow up Alpine Springs, where he kidnapped Lemon Man. That was a 2-parter. This one is a 4-parter, I guess you could say, spread across the entire season. So it's not one and then the other and then the other and then the other. It starts out this way. We throw in a couple throughout the season, and then it ends.
The one thing that that can compare to it is, I think it was season 7. It was when we started out the episode with Corey Von Sexy trying to marry into Grandma. By the way,
that's my favorite.
I think
Corey
that's
one.
that's become one of my favorite episodes.
It's just so ridiculous.
It's
the
ridiculous,
premise.
and the dialogue is just paced well, at least I think. And so
when Grandpa comes in and shoots up the wedding.
and so it started with that, and then these other villains got introduced, and then
Throughout the season.
and then at the end they all gang up.
Yeah, I forgot about the
So-
way we did that. We wanted to introduce these characters, but that you wouldn't really notice, because we wouldn't mention them until they all met up again at the end, and they realized that they were all, incarcerated because of Marlin, and that they wanted to escape and get revenge.
So yeah, that's the only thing that's close to what we've done this season. But with that season, we didn't start out planning on doing that. It just sort of, a couple episodes in, we got the idea to sort of do something like that.
This one was planned out. We wanted to do something big for this season, and I think we accomplished that.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's turned out really well.
So
and
now,
I kind of want to tease the last episode
Well,
just a little bit.
now do we want to talk about what we did yesterday?
What
Almost.
did we do yesterday? Was it the voiceovers?
Okay,
right?
so...
I can never remember what I did yesterday.
What did we have for dinner yesterday, Kevin?
Okay, yeah, so let's just go through really quickly all the episodes since our last podcast. So episode 82, Swab Job.
Inspired by the NFL on NBC song.
Oh yeah, Kyle brought up this. I think you came up with the plot of this too.
I came up with the plot, and then the song was stuck in my head when we came over, and I just played it on my phone while we filmed it, Cotton Swab walking up, and we thought it was so funny. And then I told Lane you have to write a song that sounds like that,
so that we can put it in there.
Yeah.
And have him walk into this heroic music.
Yeah.
And then the way that episode ended is one of my favorite endings of all time, which was actually a current event at the time, was that the government shutdown happened, and so he Cotton Swab loses his job, he gets it back, he thinks he does, and then at the very end of the episode, the government's been shut down, you had a job. One of my favorite Marlin endings of all time.
So continuing on from that, 83 Black Friday. This was a concept. I forget who came up with it, but it was where
you could call it a bottle episode.
I think it might have been me.
I would say it was Kevin. It takes place in one place the entire time over the course of like a day, but they don't move really.
Now, yeah, the interesting thing with this was that originally
It's our holiday episode.
this was merged with a theme park episode.
We wanted to do a theme park episode this season, but
We've wanted to do a theme park episode for a really long time. The whole idea, I think, was Marlin gets stuck on a roller coaster, but we couldn't really figure out a way to do that.
Yeah.
So we adapted it into...
we couldn't figure out a way to make it funny enough. What I think we were planning on doing is having him be stuck on a roller coaster, and then he realizes he's stuck next to Corey Von Sexy or something. But that didn't end up happening.
And then there was also another theme park concept where which became this episode, where they're waiting in line for something.
Oh, yeah.
Super long, and then right when they're about to get there, they miss out.
Yeah, but with the timing of this episode, right after Thanksgiving, Black Friday, they're not waiting in line for a roller coaster, they're waiting in line for a new product. What was it?
I think what we had to do for this episode was come up with...
You came up with it.
Come up with the O tablet.
Yeah, the O tablet.
So it was... See, again, I'm good with names. I'm just I'm bad with remembering things that happened yesterday. So, what we had to do with this episode was come up with what are they waiting in line for, and what can we do to make an episode solely comprised of people standing in line interesting. What type of stuff happens while you're in line that makes people angry?
And it's also what's the most boring thing that could possibly happen is you waiting in line with nothing to do.
How do we make it interesting?
And so we have these really annoying people who come and play. This one guy who plays a note a song that's two notes over and over again. Kevin came up with it and had me write it because he has no musical skills. And then it sped up and got even more annoying, and he played that all night long. And then, of course, it couldn't end without the store running out of the product.
The episode couldn't end without the building exploding. That's what we had to do. Okay.
What's the next one?
So the next one was 84 Grand Theft Grandma.
We have to throw Grandma in to episode every once in a while.
Just like each season has to have a two-parter or more.
It doesn't have to. It's stuff we like to do every season.
Grandma and Grandpa's another element that we throw in. So I came up with this episode
I love the Grandma and Grandpa characters. They're so funny. It's just because they're old and, Grandpa is this cranky old man and Grandma is this annoying old lady.
Who thinks that she's more fun than she is.
They just make me laugh.
Yeah.
I love the camping one.
Oh, that was so
I
good.
feel like a troll. That
Yeah.
was great. The shot in that episode where they're like, oh, I have an idea where we're gonna go, or whatever, and then they jump under a log or something.
So for this episode, they're out shopping, and this magician,
Street magician.
yeah, street magician, does this magic trick, but Grandma doesn't want to participate, so she hightails it after the magician supposedly made her disappear. And so then Marlon really thinks that he did make Grandma disappear, and he gets angry. The magician gets in trouble, and it turns out at the end that everything's okay.
Hijinks ensue, but everything's okay. That was a good one. Typical Marlon fare.
Mm-hmm.
The next one.
85, Man Off. So this is the after 81.
Yeah.
This was the next.
The second one
installment.
that goes into the teleporter
What
story.
Lane came up with this idea for every time there's a teleporter related episode, the theme song.
The intro thing has
Game of Thrones style.
has the teleporter, like at the beginning. That's a good way to know just right off the bat. Okay, this is continuing that story.
Yeah, and this one was... We brought back the mayor character who... The last time we saw him, he was hosting the Spring Olympics, which don't exist. But we never introduced him as the mayor. Like, we never said it in the episode, but I think we knew he was the mayor, but we just didn't say it. So this time, he came over and was like, as your mayor!
Yeah, in episode 81,
Also, it's
that's
fun,
when he was introduced.
it'd
as
be
the mayor.
interesting to point out that in all three places that Marlon has lived, all three maps or cities or whatever, Kyle has played the mayor.
I don't
And
think we
every
planned
single
that.
one of them.
We didn't plan that. I just always played the mayor. The first mayor, I remember him being really fun to play because he was just angry, and that's fun to do. The second mayor of the pit, he kicked them out based on their genital size. You remember they split up the residents of the pit into groups based on genital size, and he called them first, like small to medium.
Oh.
Come talk to me first. And
Wow.
The small group.
It's been so long since I watched that.
So that was a fun one. And then the mayor of Alpine Springs, he has super crazy voice, which I like to record last because he takes a lot out of my voice. I don't know. You can't really hear it, I think, but by the end of it, I'm kind of hoarse.
So also in this episode, we got to bring back Jerry, who was one of my favorite characters to play. And Kyle always disagrees when I say let's bring back Jerry, and I don't know why.
It's just
But-
like when we say let's bring back Corey.
Yeah.
That Corey's the equivalent for you.
So anyway, Jerry is so funny. His backstory is just the funniest thing ever. That he loves Subway, but he just cannot keep a job.
Okay, well first,
because he's the devil.
well, first off, he was the devil.
Yeah,
He was
we
the
introduced
devil.
him a long time ago as actually he was the devil, and then
he
he left
that was a
hell.
two-parter.
He left hell to go
Go to Subway.
go to Subway.
He didn't want to
always
like
wanted
start a chain of restaurants. He wanted to
Yeah.
be an underling worker at
Yeah,
Subway.
and so then the next time he came back was I think
Galacticon.
during the Galacticon episode where he was working the little Subway kiosk at Galacticon.
And he helped save the day too.
Yeah, so that was fun.
One of our
And then
fan
he came
episodes.
back again. Was it the next time? Was the comedy one where so he
Yeah.
shows up? Now he's trying to be a comedian
Stand-up
because
comedian, and
I think it was because he was fired from Subway, right?
Yeah.
He came up with
He got fired from Subway and then tried to create his own.
Yeah,
Oh,
which
which
that
was-
was so funny. We came up with this idea because he also likes golf because that was
No,
the thing he did in hell. Was
it was
this golf game.
He let people earn their escape from hell.
So he created a
Big
golf
Dog.
/ Subway mix with the best name ever. I don't know how I came up with this. Subpar. Perfect. But then that went under, I guess. And so now he comes back. We learn that he's been fired from Subway once more with like the funniest little clip ever. It's like, do you guys have flatbread? He just kills this guy. So then, Jerry is just so fun to me.
What I remember about doing this episode was, or not like what I remember specifically. It was one of the things about the episode was that the mayor was just in love with Jerry and how manly he was, so he cheated and let Jerry win every game that they played throughout the manly competition.
He's just so infatuated
And then
with this big guy with flames coming
when
out of
other
his hand.
people clearly win the game, he bends the rules so that Jerry wins. Like the race, he's like, oh, he has more muscles, which is heavier, so he wins.
So, what was that episode?
That was 85.
85. 86, A Fool's Gold.
This was...
This is a nice, concise, self-contained episode.
Yeah, it's a fake TV show. What was it called?
I forget.
It was Property Battles.
Yeah, okay.
It's these people who go around showing the viewers different properties that are worth a lot and auctioning them off. And your typical auction property show. And this one, somebody finds gold underneath Marlin's house, so he sells it to this company that auctions it off. And it turns out it wasn't gold. It was just because we said it was very cold at that time, cold weather. It was Marlin's frozen urine in the septic tank that
It's glowing.
the guy who discovered it thought that it was shiny gold.
It's gold, it's gold, it's gold.
That was a fun one.
Some funny
With
lines in it.
with Joseph Tostito,
the
the Burrito Bandito.
Yeah, that was a good
That
one.
was just crazy. Okay, then episode 87 comes, Close Encounter.
This is another
This is a good
teleporter
one. This was another teleporter one. And we had the idea of... Because, again, I used to play Fallout, and they had this great... One of their DLCs was called Mothership Zeta, where you, the player, are abducted by aliens, and you have to find your way out of this spaceship, navigate through all these aliens, find some friends, and get out. And
This is also one of the very few episodes where most characters are elites.
Yeah, and so we were gonna, because I really like the idea of that. We were gonna try to figure out a way to have Marlin. I think the original plan was he's abducted by aliens, and he has to get out of the spaceship by navigating some maze, and maybe find some other people who have been abducted. And we ended up doing that kind of, but not really. I think on the scale we were originally thinking of. But we decided let's tie it into the teleporter story too by having these aliens abduct him to try to get information about
Because
the
they're
teleporter.
interested in the teleporter too.
Yeah. It's interfering with their alien brains.
At least one of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, that
Thank you.
was both this episode and then the follow-up 89 Land of Tomorrow. Those are pretty ambitious as far as like
Good.
size and effects stuff. Those two took a lot of time.
But so worth it. We already talked about Land of Tomorrow.
Yeah, we don't need to
That's
do that.
A really good
Should
one.
I want to tease a little bit the last one.
So
We
that,
talked about warm reception.
the next episode that's coming, the last one for this season,
It
it concludes what we started.
it's the
In a way.
season finale, episode 90. We did it. We made it to 90.
And the it is teleporter related, so we can end this story. And it's exciting to do. And the way we filmed this episode was kind of in a way we've never done before, where most times an episode takes maybe 3 or so rounds of Halo that end up being really long each. And this one we did, without spoiling anything, was lots of really quick rounds, which I think made it, in some ways, easier.
Easier for me.
To edit, yeah.
yeah.
So it was fun, and you're going to see lots of...
Familiar
Let's,
faces.
let's
Familiar
just say,
faces.
this wraps up. I wouldn't say wraps up, but it
reveals.
it concludes the teleporter story, and so we have to kind of revisit the last episodes about the teleporter.
Where does the teleporter lead?
That's the big question.
Who knows?
Because every time somebody goes through, they don't come back, and they, say, "Hey, I'm gonna go through, see what it is, come back immediately and tell you." That doesn't end up happening. So
Why not?
what's the big mystery behind there? And also, why can't elites go through? That's another mystery.
Will they be solved? What are the answers to these questions? The world may never know. But you might come the release of this episode.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is coming out incredibly soon. So look for that.
And we might also want to say that it's been renewed.
Yeah, I think that goes without saying.
As far as these Marlin episodes, I love bringing back Jerry. That makes me so happy. And then this other, in the Alien episode, we came up with this alien character named Jimbo Jamboon, which I just think is a
Kevin
great
has said
name.
these names for the longest time. Like, he names characters that you're not really gonna see a lot.
So here's
Like Jasper Sarsaparilla.
Jasper Sarsaparilla. That's probably my favorite name I ever came up with. Here's a fun fact: a character in episode 45, I came up with when we filmed episode 5. That was
Wow.
What was 45?
Esteban.
Esteban.
It was the one where they go to Valhalla
Yeah.
and shoot.
The name Esteban, Kevin came up with that.
Well, it came up with the idea of having a character named it, and we'll use it. So then, so these two characters, Jerry and Jimbo Jamboon, are they're both elites, and with our elites, we like to give them non-human voices. And I remember thinking when we first introduced Jerry, I was going to be afraid that, because it's in the credits that I voiced Jerry, but I wanted people to really know that that was a voice that we're not editing in any way. I can actually, make that Jerry voice.
The same with the character from Swab Job, the deep voice guy. That was its pitch.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Did we originally pitch your Jerry voice down for the first episodes?
I don't think we did, because the Jerry voice, I can do. This is, unedited Jerry. And then, that's right. There was the other guy in what was it? Swab Job. There was this purple guy who was
construction.
he's a construction guy, and when we were recording it, I was just doing this really deep voice, and there are lots of different ways to do deep voices, and this was one of them. And when we play it back, it really sounded to me like it was my regular voice pitch shifted down. But it wasn't. It was just me making my voice really low. And this character, something that we just basically came up with.
Character. Yeah.
Every time we recorded a line was he would start his line by asking a question and then repeating the last thing that people said as a one-word question.
Isn't that
and then,
nice?
Yeah, nice. It's anything but nice. Okay, and then Jimbo Jamboon also has this weird alien voice, and I had to come up with another voice that wasn't Jerry's.
It's not so much the voice as the cadence, the way he speaks.
So the way he speaks, I think, is really funny. Is he'll start in this one way and then go way down at the end. So it's, and we just came up with these hilarious lines for him where he'd say the stupidest things like, "Kinky, that's how Daddy likes it."
Weird dude, okay?
Okay? Leave me alone.
My favorite one is stupid face.
Yeah. Get back here, stupid face. Jimbo Jamboon is just so fun to do. I hope he can come back.
Okay. If that's all we have for our video stuff,
Well,
let's get on to...
Wait.
Yeah.
No, I think we're good.
Okay. Now, it's time for the main event. It's time for the results of... I'm pretty darn sure it's the 8th.
I looked it up. You're right, it's the 8th. I don't know where I got 7th. Somewhere it said 7th.
It's probably some page that I forgot to update where it said 7th. But
it's really the 8th? We've been doing this for 8 years now?
yeah, believe it or not.
We should start giving out monetary awards.
Who wants to provide that?
Yeah.
Or at least trophies or like M&M's or something. Skittles.
M&M's.
Okay. All right, let's get on with this thing. Okay. I have the results right here. Okay. We're going to start off. For Best Stunts, the nominees were Detective Awesome and the Con Artist Conundrum and Frisbee Pros. Didn't do a whole lot with stunts this year.
Well,
I'm just saying.
Detective Awesome, there were some stunts like me jumping out of a doorway and tackling Kevin to the ground.
Yeah.
floor.
And oh my god, the scene right after that where we're running around. Man, that was hard to film in the heat.
Doing the
costumes, running around,
grabbing the chair and hitting somebody, which took a million tries.
Watch
to
the
get
outtakes, and you'll find out why. The couple shots of, picking up and whacking and dropping the chair took so long.
It was all about perspective
and also
aligning things correctly.
Dropping the chair
so that you could see Lane's face.
The camera went through both legs, and then the first one was me trying to whack somebody and making it look like I was getting close enough to them that it looked like I hit you, whoever it was. But every time we did it, Kevin, who was filming it, I was hitting you. Kevin was like, no, that didn't look close enough. Do it again. Did it like 8 or 9 times.
The camera shake helped too.
Yeah.
Mask it.
All right.
Anyway, well, that sort of stuff is why the Con Arts Conundrum won for best stunts.
Well deserved.
There weren't really any stunts in Frisbee Pros.
It was more like you climbing over a bush. That was the biggest stunt. But that was a tough bush to climb over. Okay, best visual effects. The nominees, they were both Marlin episodes. Or Black Friday and Close Encounter. The Land of Tomorrow hadn't come out yet. That probably would have gotten some sort of nomination. Maybe next year. We'll see. Anyway.
It'll be eligible next year.
The winner was Close Encounter.
That was a good one.
Definitely so, because...
The scene with Marlin outside the spaceship coming back in.
My favorite shot was him...
disappearing, the spaceship disappearing and whatnot.
My favorite shot in that episode was him getting sucked back into the spaceship.
Yeah.
It was Anchor 9 we felt.
And the thing is, that wasn't planned. I just had the shot of him falling towards Earth and had a bunch of different shots. And I'm like, it would be funny if he just came back up. So, I did that. Yeah. Best cinematography.
Was he coming out through a ray? There was a ray, right?
Yeah, I added in a ray.
To quote Toby, that was, unexpected.
Wait,
that wasn't Toby.
It wasn't Toby?
No, that was the host of the TV show.
For Buffy and Tuesdays.
Okay, but it was still Kevin. What did Toby say? Oh,
Toby said, "This been Toby.
This been hard and this been Toby."
I was
Who is Toby?
I was watching Buffy and Tuesdays just like less than a week ago, and I was laughing at the name Uncle Cream. I came up with that name, and we filmed a little video beforehand.
I had a similar situation where I was rewatching Cork, and that video is really good.
Your pants?
No, it wasn't even that. It was Bonjo that got me, and I was just thinking about it. It's like Bon Jovi and Bono
and Banjo.
Banjo.
Bonjo.
It just struck a chord with me. So. Okay, so best cinematography.
That's a good one too.
Best cinematography. The nominees were Later Alligator, Marlin the Elite, Con Arts Conundrum, and Marlin Close Encounter.
What was the first one?
Episode 80, Later Alligator. Okay. That was finishing up the Corey one. The winner was Con Arts Conundrum.
That's a good one.
Funny, I mentioned that earlier.
I remember watching the. I think it's probably for the first time when it was done, thinking about, wow, the way these shots are framed is really cool and professional, and the lighting looks great. And our lighting, I promise you, will only get better.
You will see the proof that is in that the pudding is in. You'll be eating it soon.
We should talk about that. We forgot when, maybe in TP Maze or over.
Yeah, let's hit that after we're finished here. So, okay, best music editing. Okay, episode 80, Later Alligator, Con Artist Conundrum, and Leon Barnes' Turkey Travesty. The winner is Detective Awesome, again.
I love your theme song, or I don't know if it was your theme, but whatever song that you did it was very John Williams sounding for that movie, wasn't it? Dun, 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 right?
Yeah, just like the some of the chase music and stuff.
I really like that song.
Well, thank you.
I mean, I know that's for music editing, but Good editing.
Best sound. Yeah, because
And your Benny Hill knock off.
Because the thing, my strategy when doing music for our videos is to overscore it or make more than I need, and then I chop it up to fit.
Yeah, that's a good plan.
So, best sound editing. We have Connor's Conundrum, Marlin 83, Black Friday, Marlin 87, Close Encounters. Encounter. The winner was Detective Awesome once again for the sound editing.
That's a good one. What kind of... Can you explain the sound editing on that one?
So,
Like effects and whatnot?
sound editing, that's basically like ambient noise,
Mixing music levels.
and dialogue levels, and adding in sound effects and stuff like that. Which,
It's so fun to film.
there's a lot of that in the other ones too, though.
It's so fun to film at the office because we get, not to make you jealous, but yes, also to make you jealous, free candy and soda. Unlimited.
No limits here, okay. Best editing, okay? We have, Summer.
All these guys
Remember that music video?
Lane tooting his own horn.
Yeah.
Summer, that was
Strange how that works.
song I ran.
Okay. Detective Awesome, The Con Artist Conundrum, Leon Barnes' Turkey Travesty, Marlin, episode 86, A Fool's Gold. And the winner is Detective Awesome. Like,
Wow.
once again, best editing.
The heavy hitter.
Certainly the most editing that had to be done. So
6 months?
well, I mean, it wasn't all editing. The thing is, with the Marlin schedule made it tough to finish that. Best song. Okay, we had two. One was for Summer, and one was for my Leon Barnes theme that I came up with. The winner is Summer. So Kyle, you can take credit for that one.
I wrote the song, but you guys kind of wrote your own lyrics for your parts, right? Working at Target and whatnot.
Stupid the rap breakdown. Okay, best new Marlin episode.
Lane rapped.
Okay, episode 79, Breaking Bad.
Wait, what's
no,
the
Baking Bad.
What's the category? Hey,
Blah.
look at my shirt.
Yep.
The methylamine
Quite a-
logo. What's the
Best new Marlin episode.
episode?
So the nominees are 79, Baking Bad, episode 80, Later Alligator, episode 85, Man Off, episode 86, A Fool's Gold, and episode 87, Close Encounter. The winner is episode 86, A Fool's Gold. That was voted the best episode. Now, keep in mind, this was all before the theme park episode came out. So that if we had included that, I think that would have
You gotta
won.
nominate that one next year. It's a good one, I think. Deserved to be nominated.
Best live action short. Not a whole lot of these this year, but we still had the summer video, the Christmas Goose, the Leon Barnes Turkey Travesty, Frisbee Pros, and our very brief Winter Olympic coverage, 2014.
Frisbee Pros is the basket pros.
Spiritual success.
Anyway, the winner is Leon Barnes Turkey Travesty.
That was
Well deserved.
served it. Good one. And I do like your theme song.
Best voice actor.
Uh-oh.
Okay. If you think I've been tooting my own horn this whole time, you better wait until you hear this, okay? So we have... The thing is, these are also nominated for characters. Okay, so Kyle, you were nominated for your work in Cory Von Sexy from episode 79, Baking Bad. I was nominated for Marlin in episode 84, Grand Theft Grandma. Kevin, you were nominated for Jimbo Jamboon for episode 87, Close Encounter. So, the winner, surprise, surprise, is Kevin for Jimbo Jamboon.
Wow.
Champion,
Yeah.
Kevin, that voice,
That voice
it paid off big.
paid off big time for Kevin. You know, one of the things was between when we filmed it here and recorded the voice, there was, a period of time, I don't remember how long it was. I was just doing that voice just randomly all day long. just because I like doing it so much. I think that helped to develop it, probably.
So now, Best Supporting Actor. Again, same sort of criteria as the other ones. Kyle, you were nominated for James Anderson in Con Artist Conundrum.
I love the way we spelled that. It was
So I was nominated for Constance LaGrange in Con Artist Conundrum. Kevin, you didn't have that many new characters in supporting actor role this time around. So you got nominated for some guy in the Turkey Travesty. Does he have a name?
The neighbor. Or no,
I
not
don't know.
neighbor. He was
Can I say...
The vegetarian? That should have been his
Yeah.
name.
I'll say, I'm feeling I'm going to lose. I'm okay with that.
Well, you threw a lot into that role. I wrote it just for him.
Okay, guys, I won. Okay. I won for Constance LaGrange.
Well deserved. You really developed the character there.
We need to do another video where I'm more of a supporting character, don't we?
You just
Kevin
seize the spotlight
Kevin
here.
likes to...
No, we come up with these videos and I don't know how I always end up being the main character. How did I end up as Detective Awesome? I don't even remember coming up with that.
Do you remember the story behind... I do. I will always remember. The day we wanted to make a movie, and it was
That's how it usually starts.
one of those things where it would evolve like Buffy and the Tuesdays was somehow originally going to be a grave robbery mafia film.
What?
Hey, check it out. It's on the TP Wiki.
I don't remember
This
that.
this one, we were going to start it out as a celebrity interview based on the Inside the Actors Studio, where James Lipton is really weird. That's how it was going to be. It's the interviewer was going
I
to be really
vaguely
weird.
remember this.
And then somehow that turned into Detective Awesome.
We wanted to make it like a super cheesy.
Yeah, it was supposed to be cheesy, and it was Lane played this character. He's like Q from James Bond.
Who has never been seen again or mentioned.
Who gave him like a duck hat or something.
Oh yeah! Wow.
And
Yeah.
it was Dr. Scar, whatever it's called, Professor. Dr. Scar.
Without a scar.
Yeah.
He's
Okay.
just Dr.
He
Scott.
sure did have some hair, though. So that was the story behind that one.
So, best lead actor. Okay, Kevin, Detective Awesome. That's your nomination. Kyle, your nomination is Leon Barnes. I was nominated as I didn't have many lead actor live action characters. I was nominated as a Frisbee guy in Frisbee Pros.
You saying you have the lead?
I'm saying I was one of the leads.
I'm kidding. That's fine.
Got to do a lead, that one.
The winner is Kyle for Leon Barnes.
Wow, I would have thought Kevin would win.
You know what, Kevin?
Especially because that movie.
Kevin, you have had your wins for Detective Awesome before.
Okay,
So
Leon
maybe
Barnes.
people just want something
You know,
fresh.
I'm glad because Leon Barnes. I really love that character.
Okay, but
It's
now
really fun to play.
you know what? When it comes to the TPMAs, there are no sore losers, except for you guys because you're not nominated for anything. So, best Kevin character.
We all get to have our own wins because we all have our own categories.
So, best Kevin character, we have Detective Awesome, we have Cost Bobbus, and we have Metal Singer from the video Summer. So, the winner is Detective Awesome, of course.
He's had his
Deserved it.
wins.
That was well played.
You know,
but-
What's funny about Detective Awesome is you put on the costume, you know, you get the pants and the shirt.
The pirate shirt.
I happen to be wearing these Hawaiian pants and this pirate shirt on the day we filmed the first one, and from then on, that was his costume. That's just something we do. So then
Except for
you,
the Christmas one where he wore
you
jeans.
throw on these smelly clothes, and the coat and the hat and the wig, and now a new little badge, and Detective Awesome just comes out. You know,
Suddenly,
it's
you
weird.
transform.
You transform and you're him. You can't do it without the costume.
Best new Kyle character, okay? We have James Anderson from Con Artist Conundrum.
That one was the fun
We have
one.
Leon Barnes. And we have, this is a good one, Dirty Cop from Con Artist Conundrum. Not to be overlooked, because he's
I'm a dirty
pretty funny. But the winner is Leon Barnes.
I'm glad. That's
No,
I love that character.
Detective Awesome, because I was just thinking about this when I play him. He moves in a way that's different from me. It's kind of jerky, yeah. His hands when he's typing.
So,
I wish I could type emails like that.
the best Lane character here. We have Constance Lagrange from Con Artist Conundrum.
Mm-hmm.
Latmauer.
Oh, it should be pointed out that Lane, in order to play Constance Lagrange, you shaved your gigantic beard.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think I shaved it especially for that, but it was one of the reasons.
Probably the biggest beard you've had.
Yeah. No, without a doubt, that was the biggest beard I have. That was approaching terrorist watch list level.
That's what I always call you, terrorist beard.
Terrorist watch list.
Or whatever.
I can't believe you would say that about yourself.
I was trying to think of a more sensitive thing, like the no-fly list. Is that it?
The thing is, it was getting along
the TSA
this
search
way.
list.
It was getting along this way, off the chin, up this part of your neck.
That's the thing. It grows more. It grows unevenly, so I have to like trim it if I want it to like stay even in most places. So it definitely grows more. It wants to grow more out like that. Anyway, I won for that role. So Constance Lagrange.
What were the nominations again?
Constance Lagrange, Latmauer, and Glenn Fairbanks.
Oh, Glenn Fairbanks is
From Turkey Travesty.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was so
glasses.
funny.
Okay, so Best Detective Awesome. This is a yearly thing. We see if our latest installment has changed any hearts and minds out there. We have basically all our options. Detective Awesome, the original. Case of File 3.
File 3 used to be my, not my favorite video we ever did, but the most fun I had making one.
Most fun I had making one was number 4.
I'd probably say
Deep Dive
serial
Whodunit.
killer.
On a Detective Awesome.
The Mystery of the Christmas Murder. The Day Job Whodunit. The Emerald Enigma. The Riddle of the Realm. And the Con Artist Conundrum. Just reading these, I'm shocked at how many we've done. It doesn't seem like that many.
It's 7?
Yeah. So, the winner is The Riddle of the Realm.
Wow.
So, guys, we just didn't pull it off. Sorry,
Well,
we just...
Well,
we
that
just,
was a cool one.
we just need to bring back fairies.
You know what
That
I
was
remember?
a good one.
You know what I remember about making that one? Is it was mostly filmed all in one day, right?
The whole
A huge majority of it was.
You're seeing the
on
the woods
the forest
area, that was all
location.
in one day.
Yeah, that's like a 3-parter. Oh my! It was like it took us maybe 4 or 5 hours to film that whole thing. And what I remember about doing it was that I was starving by the end of it. I was like my stomach. Was eating
We
itself.
started around lunchtime. We didn't eat lunch before.
Yeah, my stomach was eating itself by the end of it, and then we went and got giant burgers. I remember.
It's good burgers.
It's making me hungry just thinking.
Okay. Here's another yearly episode. Best Marlin episode of all time. Okay. This is open write-in ballot. Okay. So get a whole variety of possible answers here. You basically have the whole catalog of episodes to choose from. Unfortunately, this means that often we have 3 to 4-way ties, such as this year. But some of the episodes that people thought were good were episode 61, Something Old, Something New, episode 18, Hot Air, episode 5, Roberto's Avenge. Is that it?
Roberto. See, that's what I was saying, by the way, was I came up because in episode 1 we had this guy named Billy Bob, and I'm thinking Billy Bob, it's not the funniest name. And I don't know why I thought Roberto and Esteban were going to be hilarious. But I thought, let's do Roberto and Esteban. So we did Roberto for 5 and saved Esteban for 45.
What was that episode?
It was the one where they go to Valhalla and they go to the shooting range and shoot the Bigfoot guy and all the other...
Wow, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, so we have that, and then episode 79, Baking Bad. I was there too. And another yearly category, best TP video of all time. Again, write in, so we have all manner of possibilities here. So again, there isn't really a winner here. It's like a 4-way tie. So, but ones that people thought were good were Detective Awesome and the Con Artist Conundrum, The Serial Realtor, and then Am I Live with Hugh Jackman bonus footage.
Wow.
So,
well, you know,
that
is one of my favorite bonus footage videos to watch. Kevin's laugh mostly.
That validates our behind the scenes footage, putting that out there.
Somebody's favorite of all time.
Okay, now,
Hold on, I just want to say, I think The Serial Realtor was probably the hardest we've ever worked on a video. And people love it. Yeah. They say do another one.
Now, I might actually contest that and say that a video that we might talk about a little bit more in just a sec might challenge that.
Oh, I know.
At least from my perspective. Anyway, the final category for the 8th annual Thomas Productions Movie Awards is the I forget what it's called, the best video, best movie of the year. This is one based on...
You didn't have a best screen this time?
No, I didn't, because Kyle just sweeps those. There's no contest here. But, yeah. So, you know, I didn't tally these up, but I'm pretty sure I know who the winner is. So, 2, 3, 4, 5.
The way we always do this one is whichever
movie wins the most of its nominations.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's no contest. It's Detective Awesome and the Con Artist Conundrum.
Usually it ends up being our summer movie.
Yeah.
That's the big one that we spend a lot of time on.
So there you have it. That concludes 8th Annual Thomas Productions Movie Awards. See you next year, hopefully.
Episode 81.
Yeah. Okay, so, really quickly, before we get into our little review segment, I know we're running super, super long, or at least longer than usual. So, as we said, Marley episode 90, the final one for this season is coming out very soon. But then also, not long after that, we're going to be putting out a video that is close to me. So, I'm going through school and stuff, and we have to do like video projects and stuff like that.
Because we're film majors, because what else are we going to do, right?
So, you know what? I came up with this idea for a movie to fulfill one of the requirements for one of my classes. So, I offered, say, you know what? I had this idea. Let's work together on this, okay? So I came up with the idea.
We weren't in this class in language. But...
Yeah, so I came up with this idea, and I told you guys about it and said, "Hey, I'd love for you guys to be in it."
And why would I decline?
Of course, we said yes.
Yeah. So you guys helped. I knew sort of what like the progression of the story and how it should go. But you guys helped a lot with, you know, what we usually do, and that's basically rehearsing scenes and coming up with funny dialogue.
And Lane came up with the characters. We bring them to life. Who are these characters? What makes them tick?
So
that's in us. That's our job.
Yeah. So
as professional actors.
Mm-hmm. So it's not one of our longer videos. It's like under 10 minutes. But we put a lot of effort into this, mainly because this is our first big effort into working with like lighting. The thing is, okay, the whole movie takes place at night, so safe to say, cameras don't exactly work well in pitch dark, at least not when they're not on night vision. So you have to light it. So this is our first experiment with sort of just working with a blank slate, total darkness, and then building up from there.
And you can probably, it'd be a safe bet that from now on with probably big projects, we're gonna use, like, it takes too long. We're not gonna light every single shot, but probably ones that need it. Like, because when I go back now and watch a Serial Realtor, that shot where you and me were
Right in the
posing as
doorway.
tourists,
Yeah.
and we open the door and it's so bright behind us, and you can't see
That
us,
reflector
like-
would have helped
Yeah.
back then. But anyway, yeah, so hence, we filmed it over the course of 2 nights. Super long hours. It was like seven to 8 hours both nights.
And it's nighttime, so that's taking up a lot of.
It's
We went from, like-
that's sleepy time. Okay.
We filmed from like 6 to 1 in the morning for 2 days in a row, and this was way back in February, right?
Yeah.
It's only now that it's coming to light.
Yeah.
because the class is ending.
So I mean,
So, well, why don't you talk about the light, first of all?
yeah. So it's just
You got...
it's just like a super cheap like LED light, but then
but it doesn't
You have it. We can
perform like
show
a
it.
cheap one.
it's buried somewhere. But
It was maybe inexpensive, but it works very well.
yeah,
And
and
we have all these different color slips that we can do to make it look like, artificial light or natural lighting, like from the moon.
and then that's supplemented when need be with lights from Home Depot.
Which we've used in the past.
Yes,
With, like, the
we've used
huge
those to light
Huge-
our big green screen,
Yeah.
and then
so
also
the huge bin
Yeah.
has some lights.
yeah.
But
So
this new one doesn't get hot when you touch it.
at least not as hot. So yeah. So I mean, it's our first experience with like really lighting something. So I mean, I'm not claiming that the lighting's like it's not great. It's not like superb or anything, but I'm happy with it for the
It turned out well.
first foray.
Especially the outside,
Yeah, there are exterior shots, and especially
not to give anything away.
yeah. So
You want to talk about what happened a week ago?
a week ago. Oh yeah. So the school had this this film show. So I submitted the final product, which you will see soon online, and
And I highly recommend checking it out.
yeah. So it got to play in the school's film show. And the upside of that is we got to see it on this big screen.
With a big
In the middle of a
audience.
giant audience.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it
we
was
got
really fulfilling to
we
hear
got to
everyone laugh and
Hear
stuff at all the right spots.
audience reactions and their applause afterwards, and hear the people behind this say that was really good.
They had no idea, that we were right in front of them.
Yeah.
I don't think they did. Very unlikely. But anyway, so basically the short end of it is that, put a lot of effort into it. I really hope that you guys enjoy it.
Yeah.
Okay, now, the final segment of our podcast. I'm not sure how long we want to spend on this because we are
We usually go
way
through it
over time.
pretty quickly.
Okay, so we could probably rifle through some of these. This is our review segment where we review all the stuff that we've seen and we have opinions on. Let's start off with Xbox One and Titanfall, if you
man.
want to elaborate on that anymore.
I love the voice control.
We've only had, a day with it so far for me and Kyle. You've played it a lot more than we have. The Xbox One, we decided to go with the Kinect version because we want to be able to use this voice control. It works.
It's so worth the price. The way it works is...
Without, because now you can, I'm not going to say it, but you can turn
Oh yeah,
it
because
on.
the Xbox is in the room right now. It is listening to our every word. So if Kevin says the magic words, it will turn on.
Yeah, so I'm not going to say, Xbox, and then turn on. But it's nice to, be able to do that and not have to worry about a controller.
What I really like about it is that you turn on TV, you say the magic words, and it doesn't have an intro. It just goes right to the home
It
page.
seems it's hard
and
to
it's
get
so fast.
the gesture controls to work, but it does work if you can get it to find your hand, which I guess would be nice to use Netflix and whatnot without having to touch a controller once.
Although you can use voice controls to that end to select stuff.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, I mean, besides just saying, like, go to Netflix.
Yes. What you can do, this is a helpful tip for all you Xbox One owners.
We haven't gone through the voice gesture,
Yeah.
the voice control
So
tutorial.
yeah,
yet.
so you can say like on I think pretty much any like menu screen, you can say Xbox Select,
Oh,
and
nice.
it'll pop up little like green things for each one, so you can say okay that one, and then play. So it is possible.
Good to know.
The more
I
you
like
know.
that when you're at the home screen, you turn it on, then you can say Xbox go to Titanfall, and it brings it up instantly. And you're in the main menu. There's no intro video with Respawn Entertainment. It's just you're at the main menu instantly. So fast. I love the way that works.
The only issue I've had with that is that sometimes after I've had my Xbox off for a while, it'll like still when I turn it on, it'll still have Titanfall running, waiting to go into it really quickly, which is good, except I found that sometimes when I jump into a game, it'll be like really like stuttery. So then I have to go back to the main menu, quit out of Titanfall, and then restart it. So, yeah, but
As far
I mean
as,
that's not a big deal.
The game itself, I'm very much enjoying it so far.
Yeah, oh
It's,
man, so fun.
because I know it was made by some of the people who made Call of Duty, and it's not like Call of Duty at all. I would compare it to this game that I used to love to play called Section 8, and its sequel, Section 8 Prejudice. It's similar in the way that, you know, kind of the mechanics are a little bit. But I think it's such a great idea for a game. The fact that at any time, anybody can just have this gigantic advantage, but it's not too
much.
advantageous, you know. They can be taken down, and it's so cool the way everything works, and wall running and double jumping and all that stuff is really fun. It's good so far, but I can't rate it yet because I've only had it a day.
But we're already like level 18.
Because we've both been playing it.
I love it.
You
Gotta
enjoy
say
it?
Okay. I do enjoy it. I'd say the only issue is I played the beta of it, which I really enjoyed the beta. I really had fun with that.
Do you notice any big differences, or was it?
Well, that's sort of the issue I have with it, is that going from the beta to the actual game, as far as like mechanics and stuff I experienced, there wasn't a whole lot new. I feel like I had already experienced it with the beta. So, I don't know, I almost felt like that was a downside and kind of hindered my enjoyment of the actual game itself.
I think that was because the beta, it was really close to the launch, right? It was the beta was used for like testing servers and whatnot,
Yeah.
instead of, you know, testing how well the game plays.
Did you get a tutorial in the beta?
Yeah, it was the same tutorial that is in the game. So I had already played that and done all the training. So, yeah.
Well, so far, having it for about 2 days, a little less, I gotta say, I'm really, really enjoying it.
I'm excited to play, because I haven't done one yet, a game that was made only for the Xbox One, or maybe PS4 too. Because one that isn't also tied to the previous generation. You know, they made it for both 360 and the One or whatever. I want to see a game that was made for the ground up for the Xbox One.
It'd be more
That's gonna be
powerful.
fun. Like, in the future, I know there will be some to see, you know, graphics and whatnot.
Because I think originally they were making Titanfall to be PC exclusive.
Or PC and 360. I don't know.
Oh yeah, and plus it comes out for the 360 too. Okay.
Are we playing online with people who are playing on like the PS4, the 360?
No. First of
Or
all,
not PS4.
yeah.
It would be, but we're not playing with people on 360. We're playing.
no.
Oh.
Okay, next up, I'm not sure if we want to review this. It's so long ago, but the second Hobbit movie of the three.
Yeah, it was too long ago to remember anything, but I remember coming away very impressed and
Yeah.
that I really liked it.
Yeah, it was definitely better than the first one because it was much more action and
they didn't have to
Smaug was
they
super
didn't have
cool.
to set anything up. It
Yeah.
was just straight into the story.
Peter Jackson reprised his character from the carrot eating guy.
Yeah,
Wasn't that like the first character you saw in the movie?
Pretty much.
yeah. It reminds me of, you know, obviously Peter's cameos are very like Hitchcock, where he inserted himself. But also, I remember Hitchcock, as he got more and more famous, he said that he would have to put his cameo closer and closer to the beginning of the movie, so people wouldn't be distracted. And
Trying to find him.
Yeah.
And just, oh, that's him. Now I can pay attention to the movie.
so Peter's obviously done that with the first Hobbit. He was in there towards the beginning, but then here he was right out of the gate.
It was the first character you saw.
So I wonder what his
And then
role in the third movie is
Stephen
going to be.
Colbert was in it too. Have you noticed?
Okay,
him?
I went back and saw him.
Yeah, Stephen Colbert, and it was fun. to
It's one of
see.
those things where I was trying to describe it to you, and you just wouldn't have remembered it because it's so small. But it was like his whole family was in it too.
I don't want to make anybody jealous, but Stephen Colbert and I have had a conversation with each other. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Okay, let's
you
leave
know
it at
what I'm
that.
talking about.
I do.
I just don't want to get into it.
Okay, one thing, I know you guys saw this a while ago, the Lego Movie, but I actually just saw it
Oh
recently.
yeah, you liked it.
I liked it a lot.
I remember it was just
you
so
liked
funny.
the twist.
Yeah, there was. I'm not sure if we should go spoiler free.
Just go spoiler free.
Yeah. So there was this twist, like that they'd hinted at elements of it, and I thought, okay, that's as far as they're gonna go. That's neat.
Yeah.
But then they went all the way, and I really enjoyed that, and it really made the movie.
I was surprised, but the way they did it and they pulled it off so well, it was.
And I loved the voice actors. You knew who everybody was.
Liam Neeson was great.
Except you know, along the lines of spoilering, the villain. I didn't know that it was that guy until later in the movie.
I suspected. Like there were times when I wasn't sure if it was him, but
Yeah, I totally didn't make that connection.
But
Obviously,
it was
Liam
so
Neeson,
funny.
Morgan Freeman was really good in that.
I love
he got
that,
a good character.
that line in the beginning. He said, "It's true because it rhymes."
I like his line where he said, "That idea is just the worst." The double couch.
Yeah, I think that movie wasn't just made for kids; it was made for everybody.
Yeah,
it was so good.
that was one of the cases where
Batman was so funny.
that was one of the cases where the trailer, it looked, just by watching the trailer, it looked okay. This is just a typical kids movie. It's kind of seems like a little bit of a cash in, but once you see the movie, you sort of realize, okay, I see why they did this. They're not revealing all that much about the movie in the trailer, and so that's why.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so cool because they go through so many different worlds. It's like it's a bunch of different genres of movies all put into one.
And the thing,
It's action, western.
you didn't see any of that in the trailers,
Yeah.
so I was happy to be surprised by those.
I like
And
the astronaut.
Also, even the lines that they showed in the trailer, those weren't the spots that they were in the movie. They changed those around, so I appreciated that, so that you couldn't just predict outright where each line was going to be.
Yeah, it was so good.
Yeah, but I realized, oh, that's why they have all these superheroes in it, because they had the Warner Brothers connection in there. So that's why. But anyway, I really enjoyed it. Last thing I have on here is the Captain America movie, The Winter Soldier.
Okay.
That was a good one.
Yeah,
From
it
what
was.
I remember.
It was good. Very action heavy, which is great in my book. Well, it's not like every movie should have a bunch of action in it. It's just the way that they pulled it off in this one. It was good, fun, exciting action to watch, and there was a whole lot of it.
I agree with you on
The
those.
new characters were fun too.
Oh yeah, I really liked who's the Falcon?
Yeah,
That's a cool character.
I agree with you on the points that you made.
Mm-hmm.
The only critique was that towards the end, at least for me anyway, it got so action heavy that I felt like my mind was just completely numb to it.
It's not like they have the floor numbers on the outside.
But I appreciated. But there's another revelation in this, which I kind of knew. Part of this one party's going to be involved, but I didn't know to the extent of their involvement, and so.
Also, the Winter Soldier himself was no big surprise to me.
Yeah.
I was
I had-
surprised.
the thing is, I
should have seen it coming.
this would have helped if I had seen the first one right before the second one. Because when they made the final reveal, I'm like, okay, who is that? Oh yeah.
See, I knew that it was going to be who it was. Basically, when they announced the movie, because I saw like when it was announced and people were saying, "Oh, the Winter Soldier. This is a storyline from the comics where blah blah blah."
Okay.
So a lot of people knew beforehand, so it wasn't a big spoiler, but yeah, I was surprised how much of a sequel it was to the first one, because you'd think it takes place after the Avengers in, modern era. There's no way it can be. It was surprisingly connected to the first one, which was not bad because it's a sequel.
I appreciated how it. I complained about action got a bit too much for me towards the end, but I appreciated how it built up during the first half. How they had that that whole beginning raid, and then it built up, and I really liked how the whole the elevator part, where they established that location, and then they followed up with it.
Here's what I liked about the movie. There was a lot of action, but it didn't lack on story, and they did something that a lot of people are having trouble pulling off these days. They made the bad guys feel really evil, which is hard to do for some reason, but they did a good job of it.
Marvel knows how to make a good movie.
A Nazi connection never hurts, when it comes to bad guys.
But I remember that one
really drives it home.
character... I'm never going to be able to remember everything that happened, but there was this one guy who was holding people hostage towards the end. He felt really evil.
Is it the main bad guy of the sequel?
I don't remember. It's not the Winter Soldier, but he was cool too. He felt really dangerous. But there was another character who felt really evil, like the guy in charge.
Robert Redford?
Maybe.
Kevin.
What?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just... Okay. Never mind. If you haven't seen The Winter Soldier, you didn't hear that. You didn't hear anything.
It's been out long enough. I think Marvel really knows how to make a great movie.
That was a good one. Good for a sequel, too.
Yeah. The only thing I might be concerned about is it seems like they're coming out with movies a little bit too often for my taste.
I think 1 or 2 every year now.
One or, like it's not even 2 a year,
it's 3 or 4 now.
Yeah, and to me that's a little bit overload.
They're also doing Spider-Man, but that's Sony.
But it still has the Marvel at the beginning, so I count that as a Marvel movie. And same with X-Men too. Yeah. So combining those, I feel like I'm kind of overloaded on this, but
you're not gonna not see the Avengers too.
No, and I will see Guardians of the Galaxy.
That looks good.
Because that looks new and different.
Yeah,
as far as heavily comedic action. Seems like it's going to be a sci-fi version of Pirates of the Caribbean as far as tone.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
It also seems, and I don't know how much you think about this, but kind of Star Wars-y.
Yeah, definitely.
Mass Effect.
All right.
I think that concludes everything we have to say. Any movies that you're looking forward to coming out this year?
Well, I know it's already out, but I want to see 22 Jump Street. Yeah. And we also already saw A Million Ways to Die in the West. That was really fun.
I'm looking forward to the next Planet of the Apes.
I didn't even see the first one. I haven't even seen the trailer for the new one. I'm not interested in that.
But Kevin, you watch every trailer.
Yeah, but not if it's a sequel to a movie that I didn't care about in the first place.
So I'm looking forward to that. I forget.
Kevin saw The Fault in Our Stars and he really liked it. He cried a lot. I didn't even watch the trailer for that, so no.
Okay, well, this has gone on a lot longer than we usually have podcasts, but you know what? Our other one just happened so quick. We just did it so rapidly.
We didn't cover enough.
Yeah, so thanks again for those who might have tuned in live and for those who are listening afterwards. And we'd like to say that we'll be back soon, but
we got more videos coming out, for sure.
Yeah, we never know. We like to utilize our time to make videos, first and foremost. Podcasts are a side thing.
If it were up to me, we would be making videos all the time.
But it's not up to you.
I just wish we had all the free time in the world.
I wish that days were 48 hours long.
So, while we might not be podcasting as often as you would like, you can follow us on Twitter and Facebook, and I'd say Facebook is the most active spot where you can get news. So that's facebook.com/ThomasProductions, twitter.com/ThomasProInc, and of course our YouTube page. That's our main thing, youtube.com/ThomasProductions. And of course, if you forget all of that, if you had to remember one thing, remember this: ThomasProductionsInc.com. That is our website. It is our hub from which you can travel to all of our...
Links to everything.
Yeah, links to everything. So, with that, I am Lane.
I'm Kyle.
I'm Kevin.
And
we're out!
we should depart the way we left, or came in.
Oh.
Am I hidden?
Where's Lane?